former Petty Officer Kayla O'Leary of the United States Navy, and this is my story. I joined the Navy to somewhat save my life. My dad passed away and I didn't really have many options, so I thought the discipline and structure that I needed would come from the military. So I went into the military, got stationed in Hawaii for my first home port, which was fantastic. I had a blast, met some of the most amazing people I'll ever meet, and spent a lot of time getting to know my shipmates and my command, and I had an awesome time. In Hawaii, I started hanging out with a lot of people, a lot of different people. I mean, in the Navy, there's so much diversity and so many different things to learn, and I started hanging out with people who had previously smoked marijuana or whatever the case may be before the Navy, and who introduced me to spice. And I got introduced to spice many times before I caved in and tried it. I mean, it was shocking how many people are actually smoking spice in the military. And when that time did come, I finally caved. It was a party environment, and I smoked spice. And I immediately knew it was wrong, but it didn't stop me at the time, because everyone's like, you can't get caught. It's undetectable, and that was the case. So maybe it was actually about 6 months later where I knew I was caught. There was a couple people who had smoked with me that night who got caught from a ship and ended up telling everyone they knew that smoked. So I already knew when I heard they got caught that I was done. I knew I was going to get caught. So the day that NCIS showed up at my command, it didn't surprise me. My heart beat so fast. I was so scared. I knew right away that it was down the drain. My Navy career was down the drain. And they took me to NCIS and interrogated me for a while, and I owned up to my mistake. I ended up telling them everything that I did. And I just felt that I needed to be honest, because I already kind of let down my command in the sense, and let down the Navy period. So I owned up to it and found out I was going to Captain's Mass. So Captain's Mass, it was a very hard thing to stand up in front of my entire chain of command and hear from them how much I disappointed them. And no matter what you think, you're a very valuable asset to your command. Whatever rank you are, you're an asset to the Navy once you have that uniform on. And to hear how disappointed and let down that they felt in me and how they were with me, it really hurt me. And the entire time in Captain's Mass, I was so scared and nervous, and I felt under the fire. I felt very, very disappointed myself. It just really broke myself down, because I knew that I wouldn't have a chance to go back and take back what I did. And, sitting there watching my captain try to say good things about me, but my master chief, everyone was trying to say good things about me, but it didn't matter. It was a zero tolerance policy, and I knew that going in there. And, I told my story. I told them what I did and got yelled at. The worst part was not even being yelled at, but being talked to. And my CO telling me, you were very important to us. We needed you here, and you decided to let down not only the command, but the Navy. It was very heartbreaking to hear the news that I'd be kicked out. I mean, I didn't know what direction to go into. Because my whole life from there on, I felt that security of being in the military. I didn't know which direction to turn into. And finding out that I was going to get kicked out was really hard. And through the out processing, I had about 5 months to think about what I did wrong, and to think about, my actions and the consequences of those actions, and to see my shipmates continue on and get promoted and, do all the good things that they were supposed to be doing, and be kind of on the sidelines. I was still in uniform, but I wasn't necessarily part of the Navy anymore. I knew I was getting out, so mentally it was hard for me to continue to wear the uniform but not feel that pride. I couldn't feel the honor anymore of wearing that uniform. And so I had a long time to think about what I did. And the out processing was probably the hardest part, because also you're so scared and confused about what am I going to do now? Where do I go from here, when all my plans were for the Navy? Getting out of the Navy after the fact, I learned so much. I learned that I loved the Navy. No matter how much we want to complain during the day-to-day life, it's a security factor. It's something that really helped me in the long run. And still, the Navy taught me so much and gave me friendships that I'll never be able to let go of. That it gave me a sense of who I am. I learned a lot about myself through my mistakes in the Navy, and I'm just hoping that my mistakes can teach other people in the Navy that maybe you can learn from my mistakes. The Navy, I do miss the Navy, and I love the Navy for what it gave me. And now I look back and I wish I could take it back, but I can't, and everything happens for a reason. It's just a mistake, another speed bump in life that I need to continue to move forward from. And the Navy was good to me. I let them down with that mistake, but the Navy was definitely good to me. And I am Kayla O'Leary, former Petty Officer of the Navy, and this is my story.